Alrighty, the news is in here. We call it the good news report because we're giving you some news that might be bad, but you can use it to make life good. So here, we've got a beautiful little child drinking juice, and we have some takeaways from a new study in regards to that. So let's read. Up to 97% of fruit drinks marketed to children have a nutrition claim on the front of the package. 97%. That's almost all of them. A new study found that the presence of nutrition claims on the front package of fruit drinks are not consistently associated with the drink being nutritious or healthy. So think about that right there. Already right off the bat, that's a very misleading claim on the labels of most of the drink products you're drinking. Government regulatory labeling agencies should consider improving the nutrition labels so consumers can make more informed decisions. But we know because there's so much money behind the food industry, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So here's an example. Family-sized Welch's grape juice. Well, it's 100% grape juice, so it must be good for you, right? Non-GMO. 100% vitamin C. Wrong. If you check the nutrition label, there's so much sugar in there, more than your recommended daily allowance. The most recent dietary guidelines for Americans in 2025 recommended that the infant and toddlers completely avoid foods and beverages with added sugar. That's completely. Children over the age of 2 should be limited to less than 10% of calories from added sugars, and that's probably going to be also in your foods and stuff. So if you're just getting juiced, you're already eliminating that 10% ability. Unfortunately, the DGA notes that the average toddler actually gets about 100 calories a day from added sugar, and up to 80% of children age 4 to 8 exceed the 10% limit for added sugars every day. The biggest contributor to sugar intake in young children is fruit drinks. And what else has risen with this rise of fruity drinks? Let's see, maybe ADD. And now we're giving children prescriptive medication like Adderall and Ritalin. But if we would have just looked at the sugar studies, maybe that was a contributor to it, as well as the studies that have shown that artificial flavorings increase that ADD. So those are things to think about right there. Okay. Fruit drinks are sugar-sweetened beverages, but are often advertised to be a nutritious option. In fact, the average fruit drink pack bears 4 or more nutrition claims. That's 4 or more nutrition claims, which may mislead consumers into thinking that they are healthier than they really are. Past studies have shown that the nutrition claims on these types of products mislead parents about their health value and increase their likelihood to purchase them. Others have also shown that nutrition claims are more often used on food marketers towards children rather than adults, because we know that if the child is in the aisle saying, "Mommy, I want this," then the mother's heartstrings are like, yes, I could get that for my little mijo, my little mija. Okay, and now here's an example, naked fruit juice. When I went to UCSD and I had dining dollars, this was something that was like, oh man, I could use my dining dollars on this instead of real food. And I was like, oh, and it's good for me too, because I can be looking good naked. And it has the claims too, vitamin A and C, increased omega-3s from flax, all kinds of delicious berries in here, all these different claims. But then if you look at the sugar labels, there's over like 50 grams of sugar in each bottle. That's more than you probably should be having in 5 days. So that's an insane amount of sugar. What did the study find here? The researchers looked at 2,059 fruit drinks purchased by households with children up to age 5. These fruit drinks included fruit-flavored juice cocktails, cordials, nectars, or other fruity drinks with added sweeteners or non-caloric sweeteners. Pure 100% fruit juice with no added sugar was not considered to be a fruit drink, even though I think it kind of should be. The front of the pack labeled for juice drinks were evaluated. Researchers found that 97%, like we talked about, had this claim. These are all various claims you might see on the front of those labels. Natural flavors. I've heard clients say, I bought it because it had natural flavor, or I bought it because it had the presence of vitamin C, which they showed here. Or something about sugar content, such as sugar-free, or something about the calorie content. So you really want to pay attention to those labels that you're reading. That study of theirs, they found, adds to the body of existing evidence that demonstrates the presence of nutrition claims is often not a reliable indicator of a healthier product. So when you are in that grocery store aisle and you're reading those packages, let that be the first thing that goes in your head. If there's a claim on there that says something about it being nutritious, think twice. Read the label like Miss Evelyn is doing in our group, looking for that 6 grams of sugar. None of the fruit drinks in our sample would be recommended for young children, they said. They contained either added sugars or non-caloric sweeteners, says Duffy, yet 97% of these products contain a nutritious claim on the front of the package. These fruit drinks, sodas, ice creams, and other sugar-sweetened beverages should not be offered to children aged 0 to 2. That means none of it at all if you have a child 0 to 2, and should be limited in children aged 3 and up. A high sugar intake is problematic because it is associated with elevated blood pressure, asthma, dental caries, meaning you're going to get very early cavities and obesity in children. And so, if you are letting your child drink those sugary drinks, you are also possibly leading your child into early diabetes, leading your child into early Alzheimer's and dementia, leading your child into mood regulation disorders, which means they're going to be reaching for some other drug or substance to make them feel better over time, especially if they have friends around them that are teaching them that they can feel better by using these things. And then lastly, these researchers recommended that we just give our children plain water. You know, when you raise your child at the early age, they don't know what all these things are out there. So we have to educate them, one. But two, if we can start their bodies off right by letting them think about how water is actually good for them and how it feels good to intake that water, we don't have to overstimulate our senses. What happens is if at a young age you're exposed to these high sugary things, your brain has this hippocampus memory center that is going to associate that reward response of those sugary things. And then so the child is learning at a very, very young age that they should go be seeking out these higher sugary things. But if they just learn at an early age to like these things and know that there's not something different out there, they're like, okay, well, I got water and, you know, basic healthy milks and maybe some teas or something like that, and some what are those called? You know, like those fruit enhanced waters. So it's not like you're just putting a bunch of water in there, but you just have the water with the fruit in it and it adds the flavoring. I forget the wording for that, but that was a trend going around. You know, children could be drinking that instead as well, as long as there's just not a ton of sugar, and we're probably not buying juices off the store packaging, right? Because that's really where we go awry. All right, gonna go look at the live check-ins now. Mr. Still under 9 out of 10. And then just hit 7 squats like that with the weight that he's got on his back is beyond impressive. And that's why, because Barron is not average, he's above average. Really leading as an example to you guys out there how the Kaizen process works and how discipline in one area tends to lead over to the other. Barron is one of the most hardworking, disciplined folks that I know. And I think that it's not just because he has good diet and exercise plans, it's because he has a mindset that tells him he needs to be working hard at things. And it allows him to stay more disciplined towards all these other things. Chantel, good morning. Thought I posted yesterday my check-in, but it got tagged for an update. I did tag you for an update because I didn't think I saw it. Maybe I missed it. Challenge day 2, rocked it. Cardio done, hardcore done. Sleep 6 hours, and she followed her menu 99. There we go, baby. Congratulations on rocking day 2. Boom. Chantel says, thanks for this post on juice. Nothing but water, except for the grandma's messes up our efforts. Oh my gosh, yes. That's very common in our world because grandma wants to be extra sweet and give that child that extra reward, and they frankly, at a point, stop having as good decision-making ability when it comes to thinking out the long-term risks of things. So thank you for that share there. I'll be forwarding this to my grandma. Hello to you, Grandma. Thank you for watching. And your daughter is doing excellent in this group. You should be proud of her. All right, now to the habit roll call from everybody else's check-ins yesterday.
The world-famous habit roll call.
Boom, baby. We are here. Ooh, my box got a little bit too big for the britches here. Doesn't quite fit right, huh? Let me move this guy over. I don't know what happened to my formatting. Give me one moment so we can stretch it out a little bit and give us all some better view here. All right. Active recovery day, says Iggy. Did some standing yoga at work earlier this morning and hit the Peloton for a low-impact recovery ride when I got up this afternoon. Back at the weights tomorrow. If you've been considering getting a Peloton, anybody else out there, I think I'm becoming an advocate for it. I actually haven't used it personally, but I've just seen too many people around me who have been more consistent, and you know that that is what I live and breathe, is believing in consistency. And I think that the Peloton has been something that's been helpful for people because there's so many gamified elements to it. I think that the company has neuroscientists working for them who know about how to capture the brain. It's like the same way the TikTok app works. It just sucks the brain and it grabs it. And we have these high-end scientists who know better than us how our brain works, and then they incorporate things to make things more sticky. And I think with the Peloton, there's a gamified element. There's rewards, there's badges, there's cues like when to start, there's reminders about it, there's tracking, there's fun different instructors that you can vibe with, and you can challenge your friends. And so I think there's all of those reasons can help make that Peloton more addictive, or at least easier to stick to. Samantha White, haven't heard you from you in a while. Thank you so much for checking in. Hey, peeps, went to the gym 2 days in a row. Hell yeah, plan on hitting it again tonight. I've been focusing on cardio. Tonight, I might throw in some weights. I've been eating a little cleaner also. Beautiful, one step at a time. Miss Samantha, doing that focus. As always here, we do encourage people continue their weight training programs over the course of, I don't know, I kind of did a little humble brag on Instagram the other day saying that I read 770 something books from the library app, and just putting together all that info I've read from those books, a lot of them being in health and in fitness, I've come to the conclusion that if you had to pick one, weight training or cardio, to pick your, to increase your health, I would do weight training that is at a pace that keeps your heart going, so you're getting cardio and a vast array of benefits, including preventing early osteoporosis, improvement in your blood pressure, improvement in your cholesterol, improvement in your ability to move, and improvement in reducing risk injury. All of those things strength training is going to help with. So I think strength training is just as vital as is drinking water to life. Because we just aren't moving around big things in this world like we used to do as a caveman. Evelyn Price, thank you for your check-in from yesterday, and I read off your check-in from today. She's been working on her sciatica nerve, and she said the guy I talked about yesterday sounds like a jerk. I agree. 10 push-ups, 60 ice blasts, 10-minute bikes. Says Mr. Matt Bailey, I want to see 11 push-ups on there tomorrow, darn it. Michael Wassman, day 1 of abs and day 26 of keto. Now that I'm almost a month into ketosis, I'm starting a 4-week ab workout program. This goal isn't just about me trying to get a six-pack. I'm hoping that build a stronger core will also help me with my posture and lower back pain I get once in a while. That is a good thought, Mr. Mike. Anything that you're doing that you're noticing is increasing that back pain, even if it's something that you think might be helping your core, I would immediately stop doing that. The other thing with back pain is continuing to get more movement. If you find you're seated a lot, I would suggest finding some sort of system in your life, like a timer or something like that, that reminds you to stand up and stretch and get your glutes firing again and kind of walking around, getting more movement in your life. Those things will help a lot with that back pain. Also, consider that your core, I know when you said you're working on the abs, the core, like we've made a post on before, is a huge part of the body. There's a lot to that core. And so we want to be strength training those things as well, not just abs. But I know you have been working on a lot, so that's just kind of more of as a word for everybody else out there who might have some back pain. Sammy, day 23, leg day, 1 mile walk with the pups, back down to 5 banded wall sit hip abductions and 5 donkey kicks, improving on her Kaizen process as she continues to increase the resistance now. Sammy is crushing it. Such a great example. Calling out her homies again, and Ken is responding, does cleaning my room count? Well, in a MAID study on cleaning, they actually did find that cleaning your room does count as exercise. So yes, Ken, that does count. However, we're still challenging you, and I'm going to say it every single day I see your name here, even though I know you're probably not watching these. Kaizen habit process. I would just encourage you strongly, please just try it out. You will not regret it. I don't like to beg for things ever, but I beg of you. I beg of everybody to try it out. I promise you the Kaizen process is a useful one. Jonathan got my split squats in yesterday at 18. Woo! The Ric Flair. This is tough, but it's fun. Also did a deep stretch yoga with my instructor. Mr. Jonathan, I will have your new training program for you. I'll be working on that probably on Friday. That's just when I have time to do it. Sorry, it's been a busy week. I've been working on trying to get a press release for the kettlebell swing record with the candy bar launch. Just a lot going on my plates here, and I don't want to eat too much. Chantel, I just called you out. Sorry, but you checked in. Thank you. And I'm calling everybody else out. I know Brian Warren is sticking to his intermittent fasting, but he has told me he's going to check in here daily, so I'm going to call him out if I don't see it, because that's what he told me he wanted to do. Baron Adams also says squats were at a 6 yesterday, weigh at 199. Thank you, Mr. Baron, for both of those check-ins. I'll be seeing you in 2 minutes to get my squats in and to watch you do your squats. Very excited to get those done. After I finish my Kaizen squats, I always feel just absolutely amazing. Lastly, since I have a second, I'm going to try to get over to show you guys something I saw from one of my mentors, Stan Efferding. He posted on Instagram, and I was like, oh, that's like music to my ears, what he was saying. This post, one of his followers commented, overall, I see a lot of the same information every day. Is that useful for your followers? Because you probably hear me repeat some of the same things all the time too. And so I wanted to just show you Stan Efferding's response, also known as the world's strongest bodybuilder. Yes, that's how success is achieved. Repeating successful behaviors every day, making habits out of the things that really count. That's how I became an IFBB pro bodybuilder. That's how I set world records in powerlifting. And that's how I built 5 multi-million-dollar businesses and employed hundreds of people. So big mentor of mine there. Not just about it's not even about the strength of his. It's about the mental strength. And as you can see from here, it's about consistency. So with that, let's stick to it, everybody. I'm Trainer Steve, and I'm out.
You gotta stick to it to get to it.